To episode 18.
What is happening right now? That water looks really cold.
Because maniac! If Freddy doesn't get out of the water in 60 seconds, hypothermia could set in.
Hypothermia is really dangerous. Obviously, there's stages to hypothermia. You have mild, moderate, severe. The severe hypothermia can actually get so bad that it can lead to full-on cardiac arrest.
I almost had it.
Hypothermia is no joke. Even for severe hypothermia, we actually do active, like, intravascular warming in order to help people warm. Because the hypothermia can be
Okay,
bad. For
so
those who
I've been
have
put
cardiac
here.
arrest and their heart stops, we actually do like a hypothermia protocol to help slow down the cellular activity.
So you go that way around.
Damage from a cardiac arrest, because there's some post-cardiac inflammatory changes that happen after someone's heart stops and then gets restarted.
Everything seems to be going well. And then the girls get to their second jump.
Oh,
Twisted her ankle. Oh my god. Can you stand on it?
that's actually a good first test to do, because weight bearing immediately after the injury is one of the auto ankle rules that we use to decide whether or not a patient needs an x-ray. It's definitely like a grade 1 or grade 2 ankle sprain, just solely based on what happened, solely based on how she's feeling right now, that she's able to point. This is a mild injury, because if there's a very serious tear or a very serious fracture, weight bearing is near impossible. Movement is near impossible with the amount of swelling that happens quickly, especially in kids. You obviously can't compete with an ankle like this, but it's not a very long recovery as long as you do it properly.
Looking at the x-rays, that looks like a stress fracture.
Whoa, I thought she fell on her ankle. You know what this might be? She might have an ankle sprain, and then because they got an x-ray when they might not have needed to, I don't know exactly what happened, but then incidentally also found a stress fracture from constantly jumping and doing all those things, which happens in kids.
She really needs to go all out to impress the jockey ballet scout.
I actually have had patients that come in with stress fractures of, let's say, the tibia, which is their shin bone, preparing to run for like the New York City Marathon. I diagnose them with a stress fracture. I'm like, you cannot compete in the marathon in the next 2 weeks. And they say, well, I'm going to do it anyway because I trained for this so long and hard. There's no way I'm going to give up now. And I have to warn them, very brutally honestly, that by running in the marathon, you could snap your shin bone. It is more than we like to talk about.
After just 14 minutes in the desert, Dr. Drew Pansky is feeling severely unwell.
How you feeling?
Bad.
You move on. Go see your doctor.
You tell your doctor, go see the doctor. I love when people tell me that.
Dr. Drew is with the camp medic.
I suspect most likely diagnosis is dehydration. Dehydration is part of it, but what's leading to dehydration? He pointed out the symptom, but what's the problem?
Is there any point to an IV?
If I do an IV, I think you'll be off the course.
IV is quicker, for sure, and if you are not delivering enough
Okay,
IV is really
this might take a while.
drinking water will hydrate.
With severe heat exhaustion.
Heat exhaustion.
Dr. Drew
And it's raining where I am.
of course.
Bring Dr. Mike on the show.
Literally, my whole head feels bruised because it's been pounding for so long. I've been throwing up blood. It's so intense.
I thought this was just a simple migraine, but throwing up blood is something else is going on. Migraines can be so debilitating that it can severely impact quality of life. That's why there's medications that we use that are abortive in nature, meaning that they break a migraine when it starts. Ideally, you take the medication.
35 million and then 40 million. That's 75 million.
And honestly, all those symptoms are really
I need to wait until about 75 million.
migraines with aura.
So yeah, I've created a playlist.
It's actually a risk factor and also
So
contraindication to
all episodes,
because it increases the risk.
season 1
There was nothing left in me to throw up that it was like,
So
just like,
first 10 episodes is
You can
a
actually
playlist
develop
called
something known as a Mallory brace
on my
tear,
channel
which is a tear of the esophagus
called
from constant
Roblox,
nothing's coming out. And then
se-
it's really
season 1
problematic if you develop
by
a
Walter
Mallory
Gotha,
syndrome, where you get a complete tear,
and then
obviously that's
episodes
You're going to do
11
MRI
to 20,
and MRA of your brain.
the
and this
time
is
for
episode
decide to do
18,
an MRI with contrast, there's a sudden change
and
in
there's
frequency
2 more
of
episodes
things
here.
that have been lifelong or
So
have
episode
long enough history. Certain risk factors
from
that
11
wake
to
up
20
in the
will be season
headache,
2,
headaches that worsen with
21 to
exertion,
30,
most
season
specifically
3,
sexual exertion, that
and
can
so
be
on.
there's an
So on and so
aggravation
on.
you really want that MRI with
So,
contrast, that ones that have
yeah.
new neurologic
You might
features,
see
like
me-
initial loss issues, all those are really
You
strong
might
findings that we get from
see me uploading more than once in a day. I'm just trying to get these out.
that we have for medications for migraines is a medication that's a triptan in combination with a
But
non-steroid
don't
approach
worry, I will
becomes
go back to
toxic.
making Minecraft.
And my hands are a bit swollen. Do you drink enough water?
I don't know why drinking not enough water would cause hands to swell though.
Based on the symptoms I've Googled, it looks like I have rheumatoid arthritis.
Dr. Google, a lot of doctors get very frustrated with it. And I tend not to. If you're going to have a question, you're going to want an answer as fast as possible, especially the
Whoop.
age of Google and ChatGPT. That being said, what you get the results of is not always accurate. That's why you need a
Zoop.
medical professional by your side to help guide you through this. And there's all different types of
No, I don't know why I do these
osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis,
silly
psoriasis
little
arthritis. All these things can potentially
sound
It's
effects.
not as simple as, is it this? No, then I'm good. No, then we need to rule
I don't think we zoop. It should be like boing, boing, something like that. And
Vicks Actiplus relieves both wet and dry cough. Vicks Actiplus wet and dry cough.
in a situation like this, what we test for is inflammatory markers called ESR, CRP. Those are non-specific markers. They just tell us that if they're really high, there's something going on creating that inflammation in the body, especially
There
in a
we go.
situation that
Better.
comes with these types of symptoms. Then we also simultaneously do some testing to rule out conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. So you do CCP tests, you do a rheumatoid factor test, you do anti-double-stranded DNA antibody test, which is what she is being tested positive for, and that can be a sign of lupus, which is an autoimmune condition.
might be a lot more,
Joints, among other parts of your body, like the classic
kind of a lot more.
you can get across the bridge of your nose.
I have a rash. Chloe seems to think
Sits.
that I have ringworm, and I don't even know what that is.
Well, Chloe went to medical school, I'm sure, but let's see. How long has it been there?
About a week.
They look pretty plaquey. This could be an early sign of something related to the lupus. Could be psoriasis.
Well, it's not ringworm. Chloe was off. But it's psoriasis.
I mean, in order to make the diagnosis, besides looking at it, you could also look under a microscope and see what inflammatory cells are there, if any.
I
14
have heard of
million.
it before because my mom has always had it, but my mom didn't have like red flaky dots all over her.
Some people have plaque psoriasis, which is like way more skin involvement than just that.
When I gain a pound,
We
it's
get
in the
her.
headlines. Imagine what the tabloids would do to me if they saw all these spots.
I'm curious what the tabloids would do. I think if you come out as a positive role model, showing that this happens to even the most beautiful people on the planet, it could be an inclusive moment, and maybe tabloids would celebrate it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
You do not have lupus and rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah, see, I think that there was something a little bit weird with the initial diagnosis. I was skeptical.
Probably had psoriatic arthritis because psoriasis comes and goes.
Yeah, lupus comes and goes too. But like the idea is, it's not as simple as, oh, you have it or you don't have it. You need a really thorough clinical picture. You need a really thorough physical exam, and then you need some blood work in order to make a definitive diagnosis. So there are times you can be positive. This isn't a screening. When you do a screening, you're testing someone with a blood test who has
Okay,
no symptoms.
14 mil.
She was having symptoms, and you try to make a diagnosis. So this is not a screening blood test. This is a diagnostic blood test. What's harder, medical school or dental school? We actually argue about it here with my good friend, Dr. Rubenstein. Click here to check. You've seen me take on law school, but it's time to take on dental school. Please welcome Dr. Daniels to the channel. Are you nervous? Not really. Well, medical school is about to be dental school because we're the coolest school. All the medical students say that exact same line, so. Okay, well, we're about to find out because he just yelled at me for not flossing. Sorry about that. Huge thanks to SoFi for sponsoring this video. Which is harder, dental school or med school? It's so obvious.
Dental school,
It's
obviously.
so one organ versus 78 organs.
So we have to learn all the organs and specialize in this massive, most important organ.
Name 10 organs.
Let's not talk about it right now. Let's focus on the question that was asked. In dental school,
Name 3 organs in the abdominal cavity.
we have a cavity. Speaking of cavities, let's talk about your cavity.
4 years of education plus at least 3 years of residency.
4 years of dental school. If you want to specialize, you can get into another 4 years of residency or 3 years. It depends on the specialty. Not only are you reading books and memorizing facts, but you have to be really good with your hands. So the hand skills have to be not up to here, but superior.
And if you're a surgeon?
If you're a surgeon, then you're a surgeon.
But in family medicine, we rotate through surgery because we perform minor surgeries. I'm not going to go and start opening up someone's abdomen, but if in case of an emergency and I'm your only hope, I can do it.
Or a dentist could do it.
No, dentist. Wait.
Boys will be boys, they say. We say boys will be extraordinary.
Okay, this is
They
interesting.
say dirty feet are happy feet.
Huh. Interesting.
Where did you go to school and for how long?
I went to NYU, College of Dentistry. Okay. And I did my residency at Yale.
Oh, shit. We're putting residencies on here too? But I did my degree
It's all
in a
about the
7-year
technicality.
program at NYIT, College of Osteopathic Medicine, not NYT.com. Because some people do that. New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine. So this was an accelerated program.
50 million.
So I had to, where's your undergrad?
Okay, so I'll write that to you. I've been a New York guy most of my life.
Okay, so how long is dental school?
4 years.
And college?
And undergrad
Undergrad.
could be 4 years or
But how
3
long
years.
did you do?
I did undergrad in 3 years.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Stop lying.
I promise you.
You also did a 7-year thing?
It was a make-believe 7-year thing, but I pushed through. Like summers, I
Wow.
took classes, so I didn't have to like spend the 4.5 years
Wow.
in undergrad. I knew what I wanted to do, so I kind of like tried to steamroll through.
Because doesn't Brooklyn College have a 7-year track for
medical school. For medical school, not dental.
But yeah, 7 years is basically you go, you do the 3 years, you continue on as long as you meet the criteria of the scores and yearly GPA and all that stuff.
How many schools did you apply to and to how many were you accepted?
You applied to only one school?
One school, and I got into one school. I would not
You're
recommend that.
confident.
I would not recommend
Is
that.
that because you have a white coat on?
That's exactly the reason. My parents, I'm very lucky, both my parents are dentists, and they both went to NYU Dental, and I just saw that as the school to go to.
Yeah?
My family opportunity to become who they are today.
Hang on, guys. Be right back.
To get into this program at school, so for the majority of you, please apply to many schools.
I didn't apply to medical school, so this is
Yeah?
actually not accurate. I applied to that 7-year program, which was undergrad first, and then you just have to continue into the medical school.
Oh, right.
Anyway, this is.
Wow.
Yes.
But my dad also went to the same school. It just used to be called New York College of Osteopathic Medicine.
So we are following in our family's footsteps, and we're very lucky. Both very lucky.
Yeah. Well, our parents did it both as immigrants, right?
That's true. Our parents did it as immigrants who spoke different languages, and we were lucky enough to follow in their footsteps.
What was the best part of medical or dental school?
Some of these patients seem like they're cadaver. They didn't want to move. They looked at me like, "What are you gonna do?" You're just like,
Why was that the best part?
Why? Because I went into this field to help people in dental school to be able to work on patients prior to becoming a doctor. I thought it was such an amazing thing, and you start your patient skills in dental school.
And who teaches you? Is there like a senior dentist that walks around and watches you and holds your hand? Like, how does
Yes, so you do have senior dentists, you have older classmates, and you also have doctors that have retired that are there supervising.
I've actually been curious about that. Do you practice on a mold first?
Yes, so we practice on mannequins that don't talk, don't respond.
Really?
You can take
It's
out
a real, like everything, the material's the same?
no, it's like plastic teeth.
But is it a realistic teaching experience?
Not at all, because human beings talk back to you. Human beings,
They move,
they
they're
move. Everything is moving. This mannequin is the perfect patient.
Yeah.
The mouth is open, and you can open, stretch
So
it
you never
much as
had
you can.
standardized?
Sometimes people could even take out the teeth out of the mouth and drill it into the back.
Oh, they did that?
Some dental students, I know you guys are watching, so.
Wow, they cheated.
Little cheaters, I see you.
Wow, okay. So for us, it was different because we had standardized patients.
Mhm.
So
What does that mean, standardized patients?
they're paid actors
Really?
to act with certain conditions.
That's cool.
And you would literally walk into a room and you not know what's going on, and you have to treat it like a real patient encounter, and you have this time, you have like 15 minutes or whatever the time was, to find out what's going on. And they're all trained to give you some scenario with practice.
Okay. Yes. Thinking about this. I'm gonna buy that. Okay, a few more. Few more. Almost there. But two more. Boom. Oh. 30 mil. Well. For this one will be also pretty short. Hang on. Be right back. Yes? Well. Okay, that should be enough. Yeah. So 21 was what's in there? Well, interesting. Yeah, I'll come back to this at a later point.
This reverse answers question, but then also they have something unique going on. They're really mad, they're crying, they're throwing up. They would literally have stuff in their mouth and spit it out. And then you get graded on the encounter from the video of the session and your note, how well it was rated. But Cadaver Lab was the coolest part. That's nothing to do with what I just said. For me, Cadaver Lab was the coolest part because you get to see the parts of the body that you only see in textbooks in drawings.
Yeah.
And it looks completely different. You realize what a mishmash the body is inside and how everything's actually interconnected with fascia and how you need to separate it out, and you grow a respect for the body. But at the same time, when you're studying for the test at midnight and no one else is there and it's dark, it's kind of spooky.
That is very spooky, yeah.
It's my life goal. I haven't yet committed to this because I have some weird fears, but I want to donate my body to a cadaver lab.
Wow.
So if you're a school and you're interested in my cadaver lab, drop a comment.
You know what? I'll take it one step further. I'll donate my teeth.
As specifically as you can recall, how much did it cost to go to medical or dental school?
How many years?
4 years?
But I thought dental school is 3 years.
4 years.
Is it ever 3 years?
Maybe back in the day, there used to be like some accelerated program, but
Wow.
I
I
don't
thought
think so.
the dental school is
And I was doing some research because I went to school many years
like
ago.
$300,000.
It said almost 100,000 just school, not room and board or anything.
Right
Just
now?
$100,000.
Isn't NYU medical school free? We award full tuition scholarships to all current students.
Where was this when I went to school?
Just a quick pause before we dive back into our engaging discussion. You know, as someone who's been through med school, I totally understand the weight of student debt. It can be tough to navigate all the interest rates and payment plans, but there's good news. SoFi is here to make things easier for you. SoFi is an awesome all-in-one finance app that can help you refinance your student loans, offering competitive interest rates and flexible repayment options. This means you could lower interest rates, potentially saving thousands of dollars, or even consolidate multiple loans to simplify the repayment process. And it's not just me who thinks SoFi is great. Over 500,000 people have refinanced more than $30 billion in student debt with their help. You could be next. Want to give it a try? Just head on over to SoFi.com/Dr.
great.
Mike. Don't forget to spell out doctor and take a minute to fill out your info. It's super quick and checking your options won't impact your credit score. With SoFi's help, you can take control of your student debt and focus on what really matters. All right, now that we got that covered, let's jump in with Dr. Dan.
What is the worst part of medical or dental school?
How often did you get a test? Because I still remember.
Honestly, I felt like the second. Welcome to NYU Dental School. You have an exam tomorrow. Like, what the heck? I just got in. I don't even know where I'm at. So prior to dental school, everything was on a piece of paper. You would take the exams on Scantrons and so forth. And I think the year that I went into dental school, they're like, we're gonna do it on the computer. I'm like, cool. Sounds very technical and cool and whatever. I didn't understand it very well. I wasn't very good at computers. So first question, I read it. I'm like, I don't want to answer this second. Next question, I click next. I don't want to answer right now. I think I know the answer. I wanted to skim through it. You weren't allowed to go back. So I'm starting off my career in dental school with like a 50.
We would have 3 exams per test.
Okay,
segment.
so
You have
we're in this here.
Then you have your OMT, which is the hands-on exam.